like bigger kind of voices, I look to like Adele. I was a big fan of Joss Stone growing up.
Podcast. Make sure you subscribe to the channel.
It's the Woman podcast here with Raj. We've got special guest Alex B, a very talented singer. How are you, Alex?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic. Not too bad, thank you. Thanks for coming on. You obviously I've seen some of the information. I will ask you. I'll ask you in detail because I don't know that much information about you, obviously.
Yeah.
But obviously, so the information which I've obviously picked up is you started what at the age of 18? Was it 18?
16.
16. You started
Yeah.
at 16 singing.
Yeah.
Okay. And how did that begin, that journey from 16?
Gosh, I mean, it just started honestly with a couple of voice lessons. I knew that I loved singing and that I was, really enjoying it. And I was like, let's just get better at this. And so, I started at that point and really tried to, hone my skills. And then just like kind of kept progressing after that. So like I took what I learned in my time with my first teacher and applied that to kind of rearranging like covers of things. And I picked up the guitar and so started accompanying myself. So it really started just with like, kind of that I'm singer-songwriter. I'm just going to accompany myself because I really love to do this. And then it took me a number of years before I actually went back to school to then, do all the music theory and, learn about like songwriting in depth and things like that. And so, I really studied my voice in depth as well, alongside all of those other kind of basic music foundations. And so now, I'm at the point where I'm like writing and composing, arranging, co-producing, playing a lot of instruments. So it's great. It's come a long way since then.
What year would that be when you were? It's been a long time. That's been.
Yeah, so I didn't go back to school until 26. So like 10 years before I actually went back to school. Yeah. So now I am officially in the like professional stage after having gone through school. So.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
So you hail from Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So is Montreal? Is it? Are you from Montreal?
So originally, yes, from Montreal. I actually live in Victoria, British Columbia now.
Right.
So basically all the way on the West Coast. Yeah.
What type of music scene is Canada? I mean, what type of music do they go for in Canada?
Oh gosh, there's like literally everything you could possibly want. There's every kind of genre. A huge kind of jazz like industry here as well, but a lot of really great kind of like pop artists as well that are kind of making it big. Yeah, so pop, jazz, R&B, yeah, a lot of really great composers as well. So yeah, there's literally something for everybody up in Canada. Country's another big one up here too.
Yeah, country. Yeah, I did hear that country is getting big in Canada. It's getting big in the UK as well. Country music as well. So
Yeah,
a lot of people are getting into country music. A lot of new talent coming through. Who
totally.
you know we've spoken. I've spoken to on here on the Woman podcast. So yeah, definitely. And what kind of genre do you categorize yourself in, or is it a mixture of different genres?
Mine is such a mixture. I found like as I go through this whole project, everything is just a little bit different. So I'm kind of pulling on a lot of very like vocal heavy techniques. So like extended, what we call extended vocal techniques. But overall, my styles are really kind of like based in R&B and soul, and then I've kind of just changed the flavor of it a little bit depending on what it is I'm trying to kind of convey or get across. So really kind of in that independent realm, but at the foundation, a lot of it is kind of coming from that R&B background. Yeah.
So do you do it? So is it solo, or do you like have a band?
Right now it's pretty solo. So a lot of my tracks are, voice heavy, piano heavy. And then I spend a lot of time with my producer kind of going over things and adding, you know, different synths and things like that just to kind of create a bit of a soundscape. So we've been kind of having a lot of fun creating that. I do like the electronic aspect. I look forward to actually having more instrumentalists come in when I start doing like live performances with this album, and then further, yeah, projects down the road as well. But yeah, when you're on a smaller budget, you kind of look at okay, how can we pull this together
Hmm.
with what we've got? So yeah, but it's been really interesting, and it's been a lot of fun actually to kind of go through like hundreds of sounds just to be like, yes, that's the one I want for
Hmm.
this particular, yeah, section or song. Yeah.
Is there anyone you used to listen to in R&B or dance or any?
Oh my gosh, that's such a hard question because I enjoy so many different genres that there's never just
Okay.
one. It kind of depends on the day. But that being said, who do I want to pull on first? I would say like, hmm, I love, so like if I think of like bigger kind of voices, I look to like Adele. I was a big fan of Joss Stone growing up as well. I know she's big in the UK there. And so they've kind of informed a little bit more of like my vocal style maybe. But I love like, singer songwriters and arrangers like, Eva Cassidy or like Lizzie McAlpine. And so I never am just like drawn to one artist. It kind of depends on like, okay, what kind of mood am I in right now?
Hmm.
So yeah, and there's just so many amazing artists out there that it's so hard to just pick one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone in your family who is a background in music, or is it just yourself?
Um, Growing up, my dad was in a band, and gosh, I think just retired this year. So it was like 40 years of
Wow.
them being together and playing together. And he was the bassist and the singer. And yeah, so really just like heavy musical influences from him, but also from other people in my family. Not that they were necessarily musicians, but they just had a great appreciation for music. And so growing up, yeah, my sister and I, we were exposed to quite a bit at an early age. And so we just, yeah, kind of dove in to music, and myself a little bit more than my sister. So I'm kind of the one and only almost full-fledged musician. I also have a couple of cousins who are in a few bands, and so a very artistic family, like all around. Yeah, we like taking the stage. So
Does it? I mean, they say in acting, an actor never retires. Is that the same in music? Do you never? You say you now see that it has retired, but does a musician actually officially ever retire?
I, I can't say exactly.
No.
I can't speak for others. I'm sure some people have gone through their career and then, left it almost entirely. For myself, I would be very hard pressed to not like use my voice. I think like there was kind of a running joke growing up where like I couldn't go a couple of hours without singing something or humming something, and it was very passive. Like I often didn't even realize I was doing it, and so I don't think I'd ever be able to like leave it behind and like officially retire.
Uh, and you're still are you still in Canada now?
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, okay. And majority of the music you've released a couple of music which we will talk about in a moment as
Mhm.
well. Is this music yourself publishing music, or do you get is it like a few people helping you out with the music?
So entirely kind of self-released. Yeah.
Self.
Yeah, I have had some help with the social media aspect of things because marketing is not my forte by any means. But yeah, when it comes to putting the whole project together between myself and my producer, it's been entirely kind of self-run and self-released. So
Yeah. So you obviously you provided me with a link, which is Alex B. Is that your official website link?
what I released to you was basically my what we call an electronic press kit. So just it had
Oh, that's
all
a
the
press kit. Okay,
information.
that's
You might,
that's why I thought I'd ask you, because
yeah,
I don't want to publish it to the world
yeah,
without asking here and like
that's it.
giving him the wrong link. But okay, do they, how do your fans? Do you have official website for your fans?
I do, yeah. So actually, the website that you have, if you take away the slash EPK, then that's the website. That's the rest of the website.
If you take away EPK, the rest is the website. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. Because I thought I'd put it on here. So okay. So let me just try to put it on. Okay, so if you put it on, hang on, that's the wrong one. Actually, yeah, this
yeah,
one,
that's the one. Yeah.
this would be it. Yeah, okay, okay. .ca. Okay. So this is your official website. In total, at the moment, you've released, was it two singles? Is that right?
Yeah, so far two singles. I had my first release in, gosh, it was December 1st. Kind of did them very close together, and then I did one kind of holiday single as well. The first single release was called I'm Fine, and it's the first of 5 songs that will eventually be on a full EP that go through the different stages of grief, and that's like the big project that I'm in the middle of right now. So the different stages, so are denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and then acceptance. And so I'm Fine was the denial stage. And actually, this coming Friday, so March 29th, the track for anger is coming out. And that is titled Bury a Daughter.
Okay. So
Yeah.
is that quite a emotional track?
It's probably the heaviest, I would say, of
Hmm.
all of the tracks. Yeah, so it's definitely, yeah, definitely, I think going to be the most different of all of the tracks in the whole project. Yeah, but anger is something that's very unique and not often expressed or experienced by myself, like very often or very easily. So it was an interesting kind of um, project and song in itself to put together. Yeah.
And this is are these like character like you made these characters for this single, or they like based on some circumstances or real life, or how does it?
Um, I definitely in each song have pulled on my experience. So the whole project is based on grief in general, but we go through these different stages of it. And so that's why I've got a song for each stage for a total of 5 songs. So yeah, this one is definitely like based on a few experiences in my own life where, yeah, it really brought up those feelings of anger and frustration. And a lot of it was, not being heard, not being listened to, and kind of suffering the effects of not being recognized. Yeah. And so, yeah, it was a very interesting song to put together. And I'm excited about it. I'm really happy with how this one turned out. So,
Um, so okay, so regarding the track which you said you released, so you've released 2 tracks so far, and you're saying you're going to release an EP this year.
yeah. So track number 2 released on March 29th. And then the full EP with the rest of the tracks should be out May 31st.
So the first couple of tracks, so how do you write these tracks? Do you write in the mornings, or is there any particular time you write these tracks? Or
Um, no. So I don't have any like one time where it's like, okay, this is my songwriting time, because
Hmm.
often these things, like, they can never really be forced. I can't like sit down and be like, okay, you're just going to write this out. Often it has to be, kind of inspired. And so sometimes, even though maybe I've set aside a block of time, maybe I'm just meditating on um, that subject matter, or maybe I'm just coming up with like thoughts and ideas around the subject, and I'm not necessarily writing, because it is often, each song is kind of an unfolding. um, I've often written, maybe a chorus or a verse, and then, or, maybe a couple of them, but then I have to come back to it because I know that, okay, something needs to come next, but I'm not sure what it is just yet. And because I'm very particular about what is said in each song. And so I never just want to like fill blank space. So I always put a lot of thought into what each verse and chorus and all the words that I'm using, am I sure that, okay, that's how I want to say it, or this is what I want to say, that kind of thing.
all right, okay.
Yeah.
So when you do this music, then are you like playing an instrument as well at the same time, or?
Yeah. Piano's kind of my main instrument in the songwriting sense. I am not, the most proficient pianist, let's just put it that way. But yeah, that's how I kind of build my chord progressions and my sound, because often when I'm doing that, I'm also hearing other instruments. So I'll write pieces and parts for other instruments as well. Not that I play those instruments, I often will put those to other instrumentalists to record for me. But yeah, so that's kind of how I work when putting a song together. Yeah.
All right, okay. Yeah, I mean, it sounds really good. What's the reaction like in Canada regarding your music and um, reg-
Yeah, gosh. I mean, so far, so good. I think, gaining traction these days can feel like a massive undertaking because there's so much available, and
right.
it's so easy to get your music out now, where before it was like, you had to have a demo and you would send it to like a record label. And so you really had to make sure, okay, like this is good and we've got this in the bag, where now artists can really not only like experiment, but also, yeah, be a little bit more in control of, how their music goes out. And what they put out. They're kind of in that creative control. That being said, you kind of have to switch hats. You're no longer just the artist and the songwriter and producer or whatever you might be. You have to then be the promoter and the market coordinator or the marketing coordinator and things like that. You have to kind of put on your social media hat and kind of get yourself out there as well. So I would say that's why I got help with social media, because I was like, I don't know how I should be going about this. So I'm kind of happy with where things are at, and I'm happy that I've got like a small fan base that's looking forward to the next song, but also the full EP as well. So I really feel the support of my family and my local community, and I look forward to kind of branching out into obviously the rest of Canada and other parts of the world as well. If we can kind of stretch that far, that would be amazing.
Have you done so you've done like music concerts and or venues in Canada regarding your music?
Yeah, it's been a while because of the pandemic. So I actually had to finish my schooling online in the middle of the pandemic, and then slowly kind of get things back on track. So that's why it's taken me until about 2024, now to finally have this project kind of rolling. So I haven't really done live performance in about a year, I'd say. And that's mainly because I had to get my tonsils out last year.
Oh,
and so
right.
I was, unfortunately having to rest quite a bit and actually retrain my voice a little, just because it was actually affecting how my voice was kind of coming across, because my tonsils were so big, they were taking up a lot of space. And so, I'm actually really excited to get back on stage, and that'll be later this year.
Yeah, you were saying about self-publishing. Like you said, it is very, I suppose it does open a bigger avenue for upcoming singers, because they don't have to go through the demo like they used to do before, and it used to be hard for new singers to come up. But now you can self-publish your music. But I suppose there are pros and cons to everything, I guess. Like you said, so if you do self-publish, then you have to wear lots of hats
Yeah.
in marketing and gaining media exposure. So how hard is it to gain media exposure for yourself when you're self-publishing your music?
I find it particularly tricky. It really is not something that like is easily done, again, just because there's so much else out there, and it's like, okay, what is going to make someone stop and want to like engage with your reel, your music, your whatever it is, right? And so I find that it really does require a lot of like engagement, but also like being online quite a bit. And that's not something that I like to do. I'm not like posting constantly. And I kind of will stand by that, even if it doesn't necessarily get me, tons of followers very quickly. But when I do post, for me, I want it to be meaningful. And so, maybe it's not like the advised, like you should be posting all the time and you should be doing this and doing that. And I'm very much just want to go about it in a way that works for me and that kind of inspires like authentic and more, meaningful kind of connections and engagement with people who are interested. And so I kind of like to operate that way, and I'm okay with that. Even if it does mean my audience is a little bit smaller for now, it just overall is the best thing for me. And I kind of have to stick by that. Yeah.
Is there any plans to do any for your new music? Is there any plan for any music videos? Are you able to do the music videos for it, or is there any plans for that?
I'm hoping it's really gonna come down to kind of analyzing the metrics, right? So
Hmm.
once all of the music is out, it's like, okay, which one did really well? Do we want to create some of that like video content for it? Because yeah, I am still in even the recording process of one of the last tracks for this project. So yeah, it's really just been about like, okay, let's get this music out and then we can do these other bits for it later. So I do hope to, yeah, hop into, yeah, some more like visual production for some of these tracks. Yeah.
And do you have like a YouTube channel at the moment, or is there any plan for a YouTube channel?
There's plans. Yeah. So I really like it's interesting to kind of see all of this unfold, and really the at the heart of it is like, okay, make sure you have the content first. And so I'm looking forward to really having that kind of in my back pocket, and then being able to kind of create more content with that for additional
Hmm.
kind of visual aspects to my social media, including, yeah, YouTube as well, because that I do have a channel, but I haven't really published it because there's nothing on it right now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's tricky, isn't it? When you're doing everything yourself, isn't it? You need to make
Yeah.
sure
Yeah.
everything is exactly right before you do it, before you
Yeah.
jump into it, isn't it? Social media is a tricky place anyway, to be honest. Even I find it tricky myself still now.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so it's um, is finding the time to publish stuff and keep on posting stuff. There's a lot of a balancing act you have to do. Any tentative date of your when did you say your next single is coming out?
Yeah. So next single is actually this Friday, March 29th.
March
Um,
20th.
yeah.
Wow.
And then the full EP will be out on May 31st.
Yeah, and do check it out on Alex B's website, alexb.ca, her official website. And on there, can people purchase your music directly from there, or do they go onto the iTunes website? Or
They would have to go directly to iTunes if they wanted to purchase any of the tracks. But there is an audio player on the website. So, if you want to check it out kind of for free, you can do that as well. If you love it, by all means, go ahead and buy it. I would absolutely love that. Um, yeah, and so that's kind of where it's at. I'm on most streaming platforms, so definitely all the big players: Apple, Amazon, Google Play, Spotify, YouTube Music, all those big guys. A couple of the smaller ones, which I'm forgetting. I know there's a lot of Tidal users out there, and so yeah, you can find it on Tidal as well. So yeah. I look forward to, yeah, kind of hearing some feedback, especially with the new single coming out. Yeah.
yeah, definitely, and I'm sure it's going to be a lot of feedback. I'm sure your dad, who's been a musician for such a long time, was he surprised, or did he expect you to be a singer?
Um, that's a good question. I was always encouraged. I don't
Mm.
think there was ever any like expectation. They just more wanted me to like, just, you know what, you're great at this. If you love it, by all means, go and do it. And if I decided one day that I didn't love it anymore, they would have been like, that's okay. Just go find the other thing that you love. And so I think, dad and mom are very, very happy with kind of where things are at. So,
Yeah, definitely.
yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they are super 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 proud of you doing it all yourself, wearing so many hats and getting your music out. That's absolutely terrific. On this, do check it out. Do check Alex B's new music, all the latest and upcoming music, which is coming out on March 29th. Like Alex said, do check it out on the website, which is on here. We'll put the link on the description as well. You'll be able to check it out on the description. It'll be on there on the chat, alexb.ca. And do check it out. And obviously, all the good places, all the music, it is available on there, so you can purchase it directly on the website. Alex, I know you are planning some things today as well, so I don't want to keep you for too long now.
That's okay.
Um, on there. Yeah, so lots of exciting stuff happening uh, uh, at the moment. So these two singles which you released, were they both released? Were they released last year, or how were they?
Yeah, very late last year. So the first track of the EP called "I'm Fine" that was released on December 1st, and then a week later, I had actually like a little holiday song called "Maybe" that I released as well. So those are the two that are out right now, and then yeah, there's a lots more to come in the next like 2 months, pretty much.
Oh, exciting stuff happening on this. Absolutely, and we'll try to, if we can get the info when it releases, we will try to put it on the Women Agenda podcast, our website as well,
Thank
regarding that on there. So do check it out on this week is releasing on this Friday, the 29th, which is a Good Friday on in the UK. It's a Good
Yeah,
Friday bank holiday. I don't know. Do you guys celebrate Good Friday, or is it or no in
we
Canada?
do. Yeah,
You
yeah.
do. All right. Okay. Wow. Great stuff. Great stuff. First of all, thank you very much for coming on a Sunday, uh, and uh, and wishing you all the best for your new single. I'm sure it's going to do really well
Thank
uh,
you.
on there. And anything else you like to add there?
No, that was great. Yeah, thank you so much for having me. And I really appreciate, yeah, just being able to have a conversation and speak with your listeners as well. That's, yeah, really, really nice.
Yeah. Thank you very much for coming on, Alex, and have a great rest of the Sunday. Is it early in Canada at the moment? Is that it?
It's, yeah, so
Getting dark
11:30 a.m. for us right now.
11:30 a.m. Yes, getting dark down here in the UK now. Yeah, due
Yeah,
to because we're still in March, so it gets dark about 6ish still. Uh, yeah,
that's about right.
so
Yeah.
yeah, so it still does. So yeah, absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. All the best for your new single and your album. I'm sure it's going to do really well.
Thank you.
Uh, thank you very much for
Thanks so
coming.
much. Take care.
Thank you.